Hi everyone. Hi guys. So, can you guys hear me okay? Let me turn this down. So I was asked to be part of a campaign called #whereiwrite. And this campaign is using Periscope. They partnered with Periscope to show where writers write, basically. And I'm going to read an excerpt of a book that I'm working on a little later. But first, I'm going to show you where I write from. So I write from my room, but I'll show you my desk area. Let me show you. Location-wise, so right now, I write, this is my desk. So it's pretty small, but this is where I write from. And you can see there's tons of stuff all over it because I have to be surrounded by things that inspire me. So we'll start with my bulletin board. So you'll see all different things on here. I have pictures of me and my sister, but I also have different things, like this bracelet is for sepsis awareness, which reminds me of my story in the hospital when I had sepsis. I drew this picture. Don't let them filter your creativity, meaning don't let society inhibit your creative thoughts, your creative thinking. And I have a vision board that I made. I have a bunch of stuff on here. I have a thing that I wrote, Change the World. This is when I met Marc Jacobs. So there's a quote by John Lennon. And here's some quotes from different tea bags that I got. So all of this is to help inspire my creative thinking. And then you'll see I have a bunch of different creative things on here. A lot of crystals. This bobblehead is Tim Gunn, and it says, make it work. So all of these things, if I'm getting stuck in my creative, getting a writer's block, that's the word, a writer's block, help me. And then also I have this little crystal right here, and this crystal is supposed to help with writer's block. And so anytime I have writer's block, I just hold it. And whether it helps or not, I believe it helps, so it does. That's all that matters, right? And then also, this, you could see, this is my side view. I need to have sunlight because the sunlight produces endorphins and helps me think. And then I have my entire bookshelf, which inspires me to write a book. So when I'm looking at books, and these are all my books. And then up here, this top shelf are all my journals. And my journals are really where all of my thoughts and writing happen first. Journals, I journal all the time. Anytime I have something to say, I write it down. I'm very old school. I like pen and paper. And now that I'm writing the book, I'll go look into the journals to find the stories of how I really felt. Because, let me sit back down because of the sun. Because it's hard to, you can always think back to a certain experience, but it's hard to actually translate those feelings onto paper if you're not living them anymore. So that's why I journal, because I was actually living the experience, whether it was depression, things that happened in my family, right when I got out of the hospital, all of those things I journaled. So now I have those notes to then translate into my book, so the readers really get a sense of how I was feeling, and then it helps them. The book I'm writing is a nonfiction book. It's on my story, and it's more of the lessons I've learned throughout this journey. So one of the things I'm going to read to you is from a journal, and I wrote this February 15th, 2013. So that's literally maybe a couple days after I was discharged from the intensive care unit. So let me read this for you guys. Hold on, my dog wants to go up on my bed. I have distractions, but then I get back to writing. So you see, this journal's completely filled, and I have poems in here, I have drawings, and all of this will help me write my actual book. Yeah, that's Nala. So this story is called Out of the Hospital because literally I was just getting out of the hospital. When I was in the ICU, I had the most extreme, vivid dreams. My dreams seemed more realistic than the reality I'm actually living. Throughout the 8 days, I never fully comprehended what was going on. I couldn't talk, breathe, or move on my own. I felt so many emotions at once and then would feel nothing because I had no control. I was helpless and scared. I remember the one night I was having the most horrible nightmares, ones that seemed like there was no escaping. I would then suddenly wake up at the climax with machines going off because my heart rate was rapidly increasing. And although most people are relieved when they wake up out of a nightmare, I woke up into my real nightmare in the intensive care unit. I don't know how or why everything happened the way it did. I guess I can't try to figure it out either. All I can be is grateful that I'm alive today. The weird thing is that not once, through everything, did I ever feel like I would die. My feelings have always led me to be right, and I just knew this wasn't the end of my life. It couldn't be. I know I was saved for a reason, and now I just have to live my life to the fullest to find out what that reason may be. So that was a small insert, and you can see how if I tried to write that now, it wouldn't portray the same feelings as I felt literally a couple days after I was discharged from the intensive care unit. And so that's why I have so many journals. Like, this journal is completely full. I'm big on journaling. And that's basically my writing process. So far, I'm 23, and so far I've written a cookbook. I just published this cookbook in December. And these are all the foods that helped me get healthy, because after I was discharged from the hospital, I was a year of going to doctors trying to heal me, and no doctor, had the answer. Every doctor just tried to prescribe me more medicine, and when nothing was working, I turned to food to heal myself. So then within a year's time, I turned vegan, gluten-free, started juicing, and I put started writing down all my recipes, and I published them in this cookbook. And in the front part of the cookbook is my story, but it's the shorter version. And because my story really goes back until it was really a period of 3 years when my life went completely from being up here. Like, say this is normal. My life was really up here, and then it went so down, and then it kept on going down. Then it went back up, and then back down. So that's what my book that I'm writing about now. And it's not easy. I won't say it's easy. Another thing that inspires me is traveling. So I for some reason, every time I travel, I feel different. Like, I feel like this is a new chapter of my life just because I'm experiencing something new. So I'm making this travel journal. My friend actually made me this journal, but inside I'm putting like all different travel pictures, tickets, magazine cutouts, and it's more of like a collage. You could see, so there's like all different things. And if I am having writer's block, I'll look at this because maybe a picture will inspire me about an experience or a different way of thinking. Because that's what I'm trying to get across with my writing, is that authenticity and not sounding like everybody else, to be honest. But that's basically where I write. You got a look and a sneak peek into my tiny little office. You can buy my cookbook on alexacarlin.com. On the top, there's a shop tab, and then my cookbook's right there. Someone was having trouble with it. I've been testing it out on different computers, but if you have trouble, just tweet me at Alexa Carlin, and I'll send you the other link. But yeah, so I do a lot of public speaking, sharing my story in the meantime while I'm writing my book, but my book is my main goal. So do you guys have any other questions about where I write or my writing process? No? Okay, awesome. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this awesome campaign called #whereiwrite. And I look forward to reading more of my essays and stories to you. I'll see you again soon.